Hey guys, HappyCattyCrypto here and welcome back to the channel. So I want to talk about Ethereum a bit more. I want to talk about these ETFs and I want to talk more importantly about the process, the timeline, and kind of what I'm expecting to play out. And the good thing in this situation is we have historical data to go off. And these are really important points when you're kind of trying to understand what the market is going to do next. I'm not saying that everything's going to go exactly how it went before, but it does give us a rough idea of what to expect. So currently everybody's kind of wondering, when are these Ethereum ETFs going to get issued, when to expect them, and really what to expect. So there's a lot of talk over these S1 forms currently, and just like me, you probably don't know what an S1 form is. You probably had to go out and look, but for those of you who don't know, I'll give you a very basic kind of understanding of what they are. So it's the registration statement that the SEC requires domestic issuers to file in order to publicly offer new securities. That is, issuers file the S1 for initial public offerings, which are IPOs, and follow on offerings of new securities. So this is all to do with the Section 5 of the Security Act, which requires issuers to file a registration statement. So more or less, right, this is now a situation where those that are wanting to offer these Ethereum ETFs need to get all of the correct documents in place to have a good understanding really of what these S1 forms are. So the US SEC, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission, have begun discussions around the S1 registration statements with prospective ETF issuers, according to a source. So basically it's just starting, said a high-ranking member at an issuer when asked about the conversations relating to S1 forms. It feels a little like the Division of Investment Management was more or less caught off guard by the change of tune. So just starting. And this is kind of what I was saying is going to happen again, like what happened with BTC. It was very uncertain if we were going to get this BTC ETF at all. And then suddenly it goes from like 10 miles per hour to 1,000 miles per hour at rocket speed. And we saw a lot of ups, we saw a lot of downs, because ultimately no one can put a definitive date on this thing. But what we can do, like I was saying, is look at the historical basis of what happened previously. So if you look at the price of BTC and Ethereum at the moment, BTC is definitely lagging behind. It's coming back down now. I think it's around that 68K to 67K range currently. And ETH is currently consolidating at $37,000 per ETH. So with all of this being said, right, this puts us once again in a situation where it's a lot of speculation. Yes, we've got this news of these S1 registration statements and all of these documents being put forward, but we're also hearing that the people who are going to be issuing these have been caught off guard. So there could be delays from the issuer's side. I don't see that as much of an issue, because realistically, they can just hire more people or apply more manpower, so to speak, to that specific task to get it done quicker. That's kind of a difference with these really big companies getting involved. So everybody's kind of a little bit deflated. Some people are very bullish about this, but I think the environment a lot of us are being put in is an environment which is similar to what TikTok is, and this whole sort of infinite doom scrolling in this vertical format where you scroll, there's something new, you scroll, there's something new, you scroll, there's something new, and things come thick and fast. I've heard that people don't even watch things normally anymore. A lot of people watch things on YouTube at twice the speed, which I find absolutely insane, but it's all becoming this very shorthand format, simple explanations, just say it for what it is kind of thing, and people want it to happen immediately. There's a very big consensus of us that understand it's not like that, but trying to get the other side of people to understand that these ETFs, the likelihood is we'll see an outflow before we see an inflow again. And we'll go over the historical basis of what I'm talking about here. So let's bring up the BTC chart. So if we're looking at when the BTC ETFs landed, they landed around the 10th of January. We can confirm that on Google. So that's around this point here, as you can see down there. This is around the 10th of January 2024. So this is the exact day when those ETFs actually get approved. And we do see a slight pullback. Although the pullback's not big, at 20% for that specific pullback, we see a very considerable run. In fact, a run that sent BTC to a new all-time high, almost 100%, so around 93%. This is significant to have happened after the ETF situation had cooled off, after you see those outflows, to suddenly see a huge amount of inflows. This isn't just about one day's worth of like news of these ETFs coming out. Oh, okay, you know, we've got the news, it's all sort of done and dusted. This is on a far broader scale, something that a lot of us can't comprehend because it runs into sectors that a lot of us just don't understand. The financial sector is far from transparent, and the banking sector even less transparent. So when it comes down to really looking as to how far this can go, we just don't know. But the historical data shows that not only was there a considerable run afterwards, but we saw a considerable run leading up to this, which was almost 100%, around 96%. So you've had a 96% running up to those ETFs launching, a 20% dip here, and then leading into another 90% pump here. So realistically, there's your damage from the ETFs. So there's like a lot of negativity around the idea that these ETFs, it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news. We're going to see huge dumps. It's all over. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think what we're going to see is similar to what we saw here. A slight pullback followed by some very decent movements, little bits of consolidation coming up. And then during this time, right, if we now flick over to the Ethereum chart, we can see during this time of leading up, once again, got the 10th of January down here. So those ETFs getting approved here for BTC, not even Ethereum, right? And it having very little to do with it, sent ETH on a decent run. So it actually had the total opposite for ETH than it did to BTC. ETH didn't see that clawback. It saw the clawback afterwards and then followed by this very substantial movement upwards. So it's a very interesting situation that's playing out when you start to look at the historical side with all of the different bits of data. Overall, it's very bullish, but the long-term effects of this are drastic. They're huge. They're absolutely huge. We know about all of these different meetings BlackRock have been having with all of their different clients, right? And this legitimizes Ethereum alongside BTC. And in the United Kingdom, with these ETNs and these ETPs being put forward, them getting approved on the 28th of this month, there's just so much bullish stuff going on currently. And there's lots of stuff going on the news. XRP is doing really good. And everything, for me, seems like we're in one of the most euphoric, non-euphoric stages that crypto's ever been in. The global adoption has never been closer. Having the ability, right, for the United Kingdom to put out these ETNs and these ETPs, right, on the 28th doesn't just offer them to the United Kingdom. These will be made available to the banking sector throughout Europe, countries like Ireland, Scotland, for example. It runs very deep. So I think, yeah, possibly we could see a little clawback whenever these ETFs for Ethereum get approved. But moving up to that, it's all going to be speculation. So there's going to be people who are thinking, well, I possibly am selling the top. Somebody else could be thinking, well, I'm actually buying the bottom currently. And overall, it's just going to be mass speculation after mass speculation of seeing how quick it goes from these forms to an actual ETF that can be issued out safely and approved by the SEC. So I think it's a really interesting situation. I love kind of diving into all of these different ins and outs, and just to kind of back up what I was saying about those BTC ETFs, they were approved January 10th. So that makes all that data very viable, so to speak. So it's really interesting. It's interesting to see all of the different discussions as well that are going on and all of the different Twitter spaces. I was in Zach Humphrey's Twitter space yesterday as a speaker, and listening to all of the different people's kind of mindsets was very interesting because we had some people who are very bullish, some people are not so bullish, and kind of worried that this is going to be a situation where they begin to control things and this could be a stage towards shutting everything down. And one conclusion that everybody needs to come to in crypto is this can't be stopped. It's impossible. What are they going to do? Go arrest every single meme coin owner? What are they going to do? Go and get every single person who's a validator and every single... It's just not going to work. This thing's so far gone now that it's getting legitimized global adoption. And I think that's a bullish way to end this video. Guys, if you're new here, hit the subscription, drop a comment, drop a like, hit the notifications bell to stay informed. And other than that, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.